New all-time highs for the stock market. Man, going you go back here. I mean, it's on audio notes because I used to record most of the big calls on audio notes, and I've stopped doing that since, just in case it's something like this. But new all-time highs is something I was talking about going back to even before summer, getting into spring. I thought we just had the right setup, the right trend. Everything was going the right way. And I think the biggest thing was that people didn't believe it was possible. I kept talking about the double top charts. There was going to be a ton of double top charts. You were seeing them in the NASDAQ when we almost got there. We saw it in everything. And I kept saying people aren't paying attention to what's building under the surface. Tech is at new all time highs, semiconductors at new all time highs. The rest of this will drag the S&P up there. We have to understand what the S&P is. The S&P is tech mainly. So because it's mainly tech, of course it can get up there. And looking at chart one, I started putting this together actually yesterday because there was a lot to put together with the China piece that I wrote in this. So I had a chart and I just kind of had the flag pattern for the S&P, and I talked about the levels, and if we break above the 480, I think we can continue a lot higher. And we saw that today. Like today, we broke out to new all time highs. NASDAQ was at new all time highs yesterday. You have to really get out of your own way when markets are trending this type of way. Like this could continue. And the range is important. That 400 level, it's the January low. Keep that in mind. Keep looking at that 400 level, and just in case we get back there. But really, this has all the ingredients to keep moving up. The monthly chart for the SPY is number two. Chart two, same thing. You kept seeing all these double top charts. That stuff drives me crazy, and it's what makes people hate technicians. They hate technicians because they think that if you are a good technician, everything must work, and the market's going to continue up higher forever and ever and ever till the end of time. Really, if you're a good technician, you see the levels, but you know that you should always be betting in the way of the primary trend. Primary trend is up. That doesn't mean it can't go back down, but it means that you should be betting for more upside over downside. Three, oil. I just released a note today for the paid subscribers, just on a trade idea. Basically, I'm looking for a low risk opportunity in oil. And I think we have it. I could still see a big catalyst coming. Four, people love buying losers. They love it. Stay away from China. And I found this meme hilarious from Beetlejuice. So Beetlejuice has a meme. It's basically her. I can fix him. Him. He looks like Beetlejuice. I mean, it's hilarious to really think about it, because that's how people think and act. It's, I think I can buy this thing. It's cheap. I think I can fix this person. Like it's really all the same thing. We're always looking for projects. Like, you buying China isn't going to make the stock go up. However, you can buy something that's already going up and it might continue up. My personal favorite piece on this is from Bruce Kovner. He talked, you could read it, talks about the US dollar pair, US dollar to Canadian dollar, and basically him waiting for this to break one way or the other. And when it broke one way, he had fundamental reason for it to go one way or the other. And when the fundamentals, he couldn't know it for certain, so he waited till it broke one direction or the other and went that direction. His reasoning is that somebody knows something somewhere, and I really think, like, show me a chart. Sorry, I keep getting notifications. Show me a chart, and I can tell you the news. And if we're looking at this, yes, China is trying to tell us something. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now where China could jump in and say, hey, we're backing Iran. They could say a million things right now, which would be insane. and they could get them delisted on the stock exchange. The market is just falling apart. That means a lot of money is coming out of China. The only thing I can think of is that. However, there's a million reasons why it could be going down in price. So really stay away from it. Long or short, I would stay away from it just in case you get stuck. And I put a news article up. The U.S. isn't the biggest power in the Middle East anymore. Iran is. There's a lot of interesting things in that piece, but that piece talked a lot about China, Russia, and its allies. So, the thing you have to understand is the BRICS nations, understanding what's going on in the world, understanding who really owns all the oil, and then who really uses all of it. If you can understand those things, you can see why they do have a little bit more power than people think. 6. Through all the turmoil in 23 and 24, we are still nowhere near a sell signal in the primary trend models. So we get swing signals, and even now we're in a swing signal for a sell-off. And there was a little bit of a sell-off. And really, when I get those, I just kind of think of there could be a small pullback. It could develop into something bigger. But until I see my intermediate term models, like I'm not going to do much about it. If you're a very short-term trader, it's good to put up the signals. Maybe you made a couple bucks swing trading it really quick. For me, that's not my time frame, but I will post them just so people know that, hey, this is possibly coming and maybe you guys can take advantage of it. But I also put up how the random reflections, how the market will make new all-time highs. Now, I kept talking about the new all-time highs for a long time, and every time I talked about it, people thought I was insane. Something was wrong with me. Obviously, look outside. There's the recession, the United States, blah, blah, blah. Here we are. And it's because the market is forward looking. I don't know what it's seeing. And I don't know if it goes down from here. It doesn't matter. We've made our money. That's it. That's our goal. Our goal isn't to be right, it's to make money. And there's a huge difference between being right and making money. Chart number 7, IGV. This is a beautiful structure. Bottoming out, head and shoulders pattern, flag, and continuing higher. Now, if we look into Apple, Microsoft, these companies, they keep going to bigger and bigger software models. Basically, they're trying to get more subscriptions. They're trying to get people to sign up for services and so on. So they're trying to make more money in software, and that makes sense because I'm in, one of my first businesses in my 20s was a transportation business, and when you have all that equipment, things go wrong, things blow up. You have $10,000, $20,000 bills that happen in one day. It's a mess. But if you're just owning software or intellectual property, you're basically able to make a lot more money without all of the things that could possibly go wrong. So I see why a lot of them are kind of doing that, especially in the United States. It could be a reason why the US could continue to outperform for a little while. But it also makes us want to look at the software sector a little bit more. It is in our long-term portfolio now. Cocoa. This is why we don't just guess at exits, and this is incredibly important. This is parabolic, extended, whatever you want to use technical terms. In fundamentals, it's way past where fundamentals could possibly go. I know people could come up with reasons why this ended up here. I know that it just doesn't matter. There's very few people who traded it or traded it well. Trend followers would probably be about it. You get a breakout from all the way back at that 2,500 level, and it continues to, all the way up to where it's at. What are we at? 4,400, 4,500. I mean, that's a double in a commodity. So I would continue to be long it, nothing to do. And just think of how do you build a system that wouldn't get out of that trade? I mean, look at something as simple as the 40-day moving average. It just no closes below the 40-day moving average would have just kept you in that trade. So sometimes it could be just as simple as that. But you have to build models, you have to back test. Hit me up if you guys want to know more about that. So 9, semiconductors, they keep moving. They just keep moving. There's nothing to do. Everybody said it was a dumb trade. Semiconductors are going to crash. There's no way it can continue. I think one thing we got to drop from our vocabulary as we're talking about trades are there is no way something can happen. I am not smarter than the market. And because I am not smarter than the market, I have to follow what it's doing sometimes and shut the fuck up and get out of the way. This is one of those situations. 10. When I'm talking about primary trend signals and long-term signals, these are our intermediate term signals. Primary trend signals you saw earlier. Intermediate trend, we're still holding up well. There's nothing, once again, nothing to do. We're above the blue lines. Under the blue line, it's neutral. Under the red line, it's sell. We've just held up really well in the intermediate term trend models as well. So, we only got that one sell signal last year, and then it turned right back into a long signal. So, see where that ends up. Bitcoin closed under 38K, and we are out. So, basically, you're seeing all this consolidation. Was it a sell the news event? Possibly. I really don't like the look of that candle at the top. Huge rejection coming all the way back down. But I'm going to give it time. I'm not going to do anything here because I haven't got an exit signal. I haven't hit my stop. My stop is where the red line is. If we get under there, get out of the position. If we hold over there, continue to stay long. At the moment, something to keep in mind is the market is up. We want to see Bitcoin follow it because it's the most risk-on indicator that we have. So stay long at the moment, Bitcoin and the market, and we'll see where that ends up. All right, everybody. Hope you guys have a great weekend. If you guys have any questions, comments, please like, share, subscribe. That only helps the channel grow, which will also help you guys to have a better product and me to give you guys a better product because I really enjoy doing this and I'm having a lot of fun. I hope you guys are as well. And make sure to be involved with the Zoom that's coming up next week. I will put that at the bottom of the page. Have a good one.